Welcome back to the Greater You. Always love meeting with you guys. We have so much to share with you over these months and years. We're looking forward to building this channel up and giving you the kind of content that's going to really help you find relief and growth, self-growth, and mindfulness in your lives. So today we're talking about what is a real break. So a quick backstory, here we are sitting in, 2024 and beyond, depending on when you watch this video. Back in 2017, I went through my own hell that was characterized by experiencing some really intense burnout. Actually, since going through that a couple of years afterwards and having gone through some serious burnout, I got certified in helping other professionals overcome burnout. Burnout is a very real psychological event that can be characterized by extreme anxiety, depression, and just a feeling of paralyzation where you feel like you can't work anymore. It can show up in physical manifestations, body symptoms that are bizarre. We call those, psychosomatic symptoms. You may find yourself feeling blunted in your emotions, difficult connecting with people. So burnout can be really intense. It can happen with any career path. Burnout as a term tends to be associated with, people that are working really hard at particular things and they've overworked themselves and gotten themselves to a point where they just feel really cooked. Your brain and your heart and your body feel cooked. I don't remember the term. The Japanese have a term for dying from overworking. That's a culture that experiences that very real burnout by being too career driven at times. Of course, it can be any culture on the planet, right? Here in America, people definitely experience burnout by putting too much stress and pressure on themselves to be the best, to be perfect at what you do, to always hit, all of your goals in such a way that it creates burnout. So burnout is very real. A solution to healing the mind and the body from burnout and really preventing, which is what we love in positive psychology, right? We love preventing problems rather than dealing with the mess afterwards. Well, back in 2017, I was going through that burnout. The mess was already there. It felt as if I was at the bottom of a very deep pit, laying flat on my back, staring up into the darkness, and not knowing if I'd be able to continue to work in the human service industry. Remember, I've been in this industry since 1999, so it's not been a short amount of time that I've been working to help people, and I love this work. But at that time, in that fall of 2017, I did not love this work anymore. I didn't love much. I was just broken. So I went through a series of miracles and hard work and a loving family and wonderful professional help and all the things that I do for people I was then the recipient of. I was able to figure out how to get renewed so that I could get back on my feet. And I will say, since, it took me a solid year to really feel like I was back on solid footing, but once the healing started, the burnout was in the fall of 2017. Because I am a go-getter in every area, I didn't sit around waiting to feel better. I took a very active role in trying to heal my mind and my body. By the spring of 2018, I was starting to feel like I was getting some solid ground underneath me again. And it progressed and progressed, up and downs, but generally progressed through that 2018. And I will say now, years later, that I am a much stronger and more balanced individual than I was before then. Always working to improve, always working to tweak things in life so that I can do better and become a better version of myself. But I learned the importance of a real break. So this video for you is to think about what is a real break. I think in American culture, we have this tendency to obsess about big vacations as a break. And I think at times they are, right? If you can save up and pinch your pennies and end up on a beach in Hawaii for 10 days or something, holy moly, you're not going to regret that, right? That's going to be an awesome thing. That can be a real break. But that's not necessarily a real break. A real break is a break from genuine worry. It's a break from work. It's a break from fear. It's a break from overdoing it. So a real break can happen at any moment. It's a state of mind and a state of being much more than anything. Part of the healing process I went through back in 2017 that I still use to this day was meditation. I had dabbled in meditation, having been a student of the Eastern arts and martial arts and philosophies for many years. I had dabbled in meditation. By necessity, when I was going through burnout, meditation became a tool of healing. I learned from much practice that a 15-minute meditation can be a very real break that renews things. You just stop and you just breathe. Maybe you turn on some white noise and you focus on your breath and you shut off the computer and you shut off the things and you just exist and focus on your breath for 15 minutes. You do this while walking. Maybe you're taking your dog for a walk, but you're doing it mindfully. Maybe you're sitting on a log in the woods for 15 minutes while you're out on a hike, and you do it mindfully. A break is a calm inner state where we're letting go of our pressure and our worry and even our cares. It's okay to set aside your responsibilities for short periods of time so that you can renew your body and your mind and your soul. For me, it became a deeply spiritual journey. I am a very spiritual individual and seek to find God a lot and seek to find higher power and connection to others. I find my connection to friends and family a very spiritual thing too. That's just how I am. So when we're on a break, our minds are calm. We let go. We just let go. On a break, we try and cultivate by not trying anymore, an inner stillness by just letting ourselves be. This can happen on a beach in Hawaii. That's a great place to do it. It can happen, while on a tour bus checking out Europe, sure. But stare out that window and let yourself really drink in the sights of the old architecture and the forests that you're driving through and the people walking on the streets. You could be in New York City in Times Square, and you could have one of these real breaks. You would just go and you would just sit and experience the sounds of the people walking around, talking, chatting, looking at the lights on the marquees. It might be harder for some people in that situation, but there's definitely people that get energy from being around groups of people, right? So that could be a break. You could have a real break standing in the middle of Times Square. You could have that break anywhere. That's the point of this video. The point of this video is to take a real break. How do we know if we're taking a break? We get a sense of renewal. We feel an inner sense of calm. We feel energy flowing into us. When I was writing the blog post around this, I felt like I was on a break because I was taking a journey into mindfulness when I was writing it. And I was sharing my heart and soul with you. That can be a break. Sharing love. Getting a really great hug from a good buddy. Those 20-second hugs that release oxytocin. That can be a break, right? So don't overcomplicate taking a real break. However, do take a real break. I recommend kind of a rhythm. I think every single day you should take a small break. I think people try to do this when they're like watching Netflix or watching YouTube videos. If you're going to do that stuff, be mindful and make it a real break. I don't know. Maybe you need to shut off the tech to get your real break. Usually I do. So I recommend 15 minutes a day of some sort of real break. And then once a week, I recommend at least a good portion of one day to be set aside as a day that's a break. A break from doing your normal stuff, a break from work, a break from your regular routines. Once a week, right? And then once a month, I recommend taking a full day off from all of it. Add another day off somewhere, in your work week and go do something different that can be a real break. And then once a quarter, I recommend taking a week of a break from your normal. That's a lot, right? That's like 4 weeks a year of taking off. And that's a lofty goal. It's not something all of us can do all the time. These are just recommendations. But notice the rhythm: a small break daily, a larger break weekly, a slightly larger break monthly, and then a significant break quarterly. And definitely we would land that once a year, right? It's highly recommended to take a good chunk of time, maybe that 10-day vacation that you save up for all year. And make it a real break, though. If you're in a state of chaos when you're on your vacation, then the vacation is going to still maybe be fun and pleasurable, but it's not a real break. And so then you find yourself going back to work exhausted. That's not a real break. That's not a real break. So think about ways to restructure your breaks so that you get the renewal you need for yourself, your family that you're with, your friends that you're with when you're doing this. If you're on that ski vacation with your buddies and you're in some amazing ski resort in Europe or wherever, go to the lodge and take a break with your friends. Sit there and feel the fire, the warmth of the fire on your face, sitting in the lodge and the snow falling outside. That moment with your friends, playing some cards, or just sitting and being can become that real break. So you can see it's a state of mind and a state of being, taking a break. So once a day, once a week, once a month, once a quarter, and once a year, take some rhythmic breaks so that you can renew yourself from the rigors of just day-to-day life. You folks are driven. You're driven. You're looking at this video and listening to it because you're a driven person. The greater you attracts people that are looking for renewal and help. So make sure you take some time to build those breaks. Take care. Like this video if you liked it. We've got more to come. As usual, subscribe if you will to the channel, and we will talk soon. Have a wonderful day.